Miss Lauren, are you sure you want to change your name? After the name change, your academic credentials, documents, and passport will all need to be updated. Lauren nodded. I'm sure. The staff member continued to persuade her. Changing your name as an adult is actually quite troublesome, and your original name is quite lovely. Would you like to reconsider? No need to reconsider. Lauren signed the name change consent form. Thank you. All right. The name you wish to change to is Molly. Correct, yes, she was determined to leave this place completely behind. Lauren asked, excuse me, can I go change my passport name now? Yes, you can. Here's your name change receipt. Just take this to the counter downstairs to update the name on your passport. Lauren changed her passport at lightning speed, but she didn't change anything else, not her diploma, household registration, nothing. In any case, she would be leaving with her new passport in a week. Leaving her old identity behind forever, she no longer needed it. Hello, everyone, welcome to my channel. Subscribe us to read wonderful novels every day. Now the story begins. Holding the new passport, she walked out of the administrative hall. Facing the landmark building of City H across the street, on the large screen of the skyscraper, an exclusive interview with the CEO of SS Group, Justin, was being broadcast. The host, sharp-eyed, noticed his subtle gesture and asked with a smile, Mr. Justin, I noticed you've been touching your ring, but it seems like just a simple silver one. Is there something special about it? Justin smiled gently and raised his hand to show her. This is my wedding ring. Oh, my apologies. I assumed with your current wealth, your wedding ring would definitely be a diamond one. And not a small carat either, Justin said. I made my wedding ring myself, polished it bit by bit, and even engraved mine and my wife's names on the inside. Wow. I really envy your wife. She must have saved the galaxy in her past life to be able to marry Mr. Justin like you. Justin simply said, actually, I must have saved the galaxy in my past life to be able to marry her. Among the surrounding passers-by, almost all voices were filled with envy. Only the person at the center of the incident, Lauren, just smiled sarcastically. She and Justin were truly deeply in love once. From school uniforms to wedding gowns, they had walked together for 15 years. In the eyes of classmates and teachers, they were the most loving couple, until 2 months ago, she received a photo sent by a strange woman. The girl looked barely in her early 20s, yet she was dressed in seductive stockings and a nightgown, with bruises ranging from blue to purple covering her neck all the way down to her chest. It didn't take a genius to guess she had just been through an intense battle. She flashed a V sign at the camera. On her index finger was a silver ring. Slightly too large, likely a men's style, his wedding ring. Later, she met the girl in Justin's office. Her name was Nina, just graduated from college, 21 years old, and Justin's newly hired personal assistant. At that moment, Lauren's mind was actually a bit dazed. She really wanted to rush into Justin's office and ask, does a life assistant include sexual services? But in the end, she gave up. In that photo, Nina's body covered in marks had already revealed the answer. Lauren left amidst the gasps of admiration and envy from those around her, turning to enter a jewelry workshop. When she took off the ring from her left ring finger, the pain pierced her heart. Miss, what jewelry would you like to have processed? This ring. Please melt it down for me. There's an inscription on this ring. It must have special meaning. Are you sure you want to melt it? Yes, please hurry. Half an hour later, Lauren returned home with an exquisitely packaged jewelry box. Justin didn't come back until after 10 p.m. He was holding a bouquet of flowers. Sorry, Lauren. I've been busy with work lately and haven't had time for you. I brought your favorite freesias. Do you like them? As he leaned in closer, Lauren caught the scent of a woman's perfume on him. Turning her head slightly, she noticed a small bite mark on his Adam's apple. There was also a woman's lipstick stain on the collar of his shirt. Bright red, unmistakable. Lauren sneered. Are you busy with work? Or busy tilling the fields at Nina's place? Why aren't you saying anything? Lauren pushed him away, just a bit tired. Then shall I carry you back to sleep? With that, he crouched down, preparing to scoop Lauren up in his arms. Lauren pushed him away again. You must be tired too. Go take a shower and rest early. Justin reached out to hold her hand but suddenly noticed something. Lauren, where's your wedding ring? I took it off. This was made by my own hands, a testament to our love. Why would you take it off? Lauren dismissively replied. I've gained some weight recently. It doesn't fit anymore. Justin finally looked slightly relieved and smiled again. Then I'll take it to the jeweler another day to have it resized. We'll see. By the way, what's that on the table? Justin pointed at the exquisite jewelry box on the table. pleasantly surprised. Lauren, is this a gift for me? Lauren nodded, yes. Inside it was a small silver block. She melted their wedding rings and placed them inside. Justin was delighted. What's the occasion today? Lauren took the initiative to prepare a gift for me. Lauren's heart sank once more, her spirits plummeting. Today is our wedding anniversary. Justin's face instantly turned extremely unpleasant. He coaxed Lauren in an almost ingratiating manner. I'm sorry, Lauren, work has been really busy lately. How about we go out for dinner tonight? I'll book a restaurant right now. No need. I've already eaten. Then let me take you out to see the night view. Maybe take a walk by the river. I'm tired. I want to sleep. Justin wrapped his arms around her waist from behind in a flattering manner. Let's go, Lauren. It's been a long time since we took a walk together. I feel like you've been a bit distant towards me lately. If this continues, I might start to suspect that my Lauren has changed her heart. Have I changed my heart? Clearly. It was you who had someone else in your heart first. It was your heart that left me first. And this time, I will also take back my heart forever, along with my whole being, reclaiming everything. On the way out, Justin drove while cheerfully sharing his recent experiences with her. Lauren sat in the passenger seat, tilting her head to look out the window, turning a deaf ear, because while fastening her seatbelt, she felt a woman stalking from the gap in the passenger seat. Clearly, it had been worn. Then she stuffed it back in, pretending nothing had happened. Since she had already decided to leave, she didn't want to argue with him anymore. Apart from hearing some useless lies, she couldn't get anything else. If she couldn't get it, then she wouldn't take it. When they reached the river, Justin got out of the car first and opened the door for her. Lauren, we're here. Lauren didn't really want to come, but this riverside was a place they often visited when they first got together. Let it begin here, and let it end here. Wow, isn't that Mr. Justin from TV today? The one who handmade his own wedding ring. I remember, the ultimate good man. He even shielded the car roof for his wife. Afraid she might bump her head when getting out of the car. So thoughtful, it's touching. Just as they were talking, Justin's phone rang. He apologized, saying, sorry, Lauren, please wait a moment. It's about work. I'll take this call and be right back. Go ahead. Wait here for me. Don't wander off. The surroundings erupted in another wave of exclamations. Mr. Justin is treating his wife like a daughter, even afraid she might get lost. That's so doting. Only Lauren remained expressionless throughout, standing by the river and gazing at the sparkling water under the night sky. Just now, Justin couldn't suppress the smile at the corners of his lips when he saw the caller ID, adoration, sweetness, and a hint of mischief. How could it possibly be work? But she couldn't be bothered to expose it. It was a bit chilly by the river, so she simply returned to the car to wait. On the car's display screen, Justin's social media account hadn't been logged out and was synced with his phone. The chat records were still scrolling up one by one. The person opposite is called Little Glutton Nina. Justin, miss me, Little Glutton Nina. The nights without you feel a bit empty. Justin, you naughty kitten, wasn't 7 times during the day enough for you? Little Glutton Nina, not enough. Big brother, I still want more. Justin, okay, wait until work tomorrow. In the office, I'll satisfy you. Little Glutton Nina, he. Then I'll wear black stockings to work tomorrow. The subsequent chat conversation became even more indecent, filled with foul language and flirtation. Lauren felt utterly chilled to the bone and turned off the screen. She trembled all over, unable to tell if it was from cold or anger, her nails digging deep into her flesh. Justin returned quickly. In about 15 minutes, when he got back into the car, he clutched his chest and let out a deep sigh of relief. After finishing the call, I turned around and didn't see you. It scared me to death. Thank goodness you're okay. Lauren could no longer bear to look at his hypocritical face and lowered her head to stare at her own hands. It was cold outside, so I came back to the car. Okay, stay wherever you like. Lauren suddenly raised her head. After reading their chat history, this sentence gave Lauren another layer of understanding. Stay wherever you like. The stockings in the gap of the co-pilot's seat. Could it be that they had also done it in the passenger seat? Lauren suddenly felt nauseous and threw up as soon as she pushed the car door open. Justin was frantic and rushed to check on her. Lauren, what's wrong? Lauren vomited violently and couldn't recover for a long time. She doesn't understand. Why would Justin, who loved her so much, cheat? Isn't he afraid she might find out? Or does he think his actions are hidden well enough that he can keep it from her forever? As the evening breeze blew, Lauren felt her mind clear considerably. Justin asked her, are you okay, Lauren? If you're not feeling well, I can take you to the hospital now. No, it's probably just something I ate at dinner, then come to the office to see me tomorrow, and we'll eat together. Lauren let out a cold laugh. Go visit the company to see you and Nina getting it on in the office. She suddenly felt like playing a prank. Sure, then I'll go to the company with you tomorrow morning, keep you company at work, have meals together, and we'll go home together in the evening. Justin never expected her to agree, and his expression began to look somewhat forced. But I've been quite busy with work lately, so I might not be able to accompany you all the time. You focus on your work, I'll just wait for you in your office. Alright then, back at home. Justin volunteered to draw Lauren a bath and went to the bathroom, but unusually closed the door behind him, and Lauren went downstairs by herself and got back into the car. After starting the car, the screen immediately displayed the latest chat history. Justin, the situation has changed. We can't meet at the office tomorrow, little glutton Nina. Ah, that's a bit disappointing. Justin, don't be disappointed. Little naughty cat, Big Brother will take you to the rooftop to do it. It'll be even more exciting, little greedy cat Nina. He, Big Brother is the best. Lauren had just returned to the bedroom when Justin came out of the bathroom. Lauren, the bathwater is ready. You should go take a soak first. No, I want to rest. Alright, go to sleep if you're tired. By the way, can I open the gift you left on the table now? Lauren said, you can open it in a week. Why wait another week? I want to see what gift our Lauren has prepared for me now, because in a week, I will leave you forever. Because in a week, this gift will have meaning. Justin gently kissed her forehead. Alright, as you wish. Early the next morning, Justin's phone started ringing shortly after 6. He dismissed it, then turned back to hug Lauren. Ignore it. Let's sleep a bit longer. But the phone rang persistently again. Justin frowned irritably. It's not even work hours yet. Rushing me early in the morning like this, sooner or later. I'll fire these useless executives. Dismissed it again. When the phone rang for the third time, Justin got out of bed grumpily. Lauren, you sleep a little longer. I'll go ask them what's so urgent that they need me. Lauren softly murmured She turned over, facing away from him. Justin left the bedroom with his phone. However, soon his figure appeared outside the main door on the first floor. Outside stood a delivery guy in yellow clothes, handing him a package. Justin took it. But when he returned, his hands were empty. Lauren asked him, is the company situation serious? Justin said, it's all right. Lauren, don't worry, rest easy. I'll go make you breakfast. Whether out of guilt or genuine concern that she might have eaten something bad, Justin prepared a lavish breakfast this time. Milk, eggs, bread, jam, and her favorite oatmeal porridge. You can't just eat anything from now on. I'll find a housekeeper for you. Someone to come cook for you at home every day. No need, be good. Lauren, listen to me, otherwise I won't feel at ease going to work. Justin, can I ask you a question? Go ahead and ask. Lauren put down her fork and knife, asking calmly, the 7-year itch, do you think there's any truth to it? Justin immediately wore an expression of utter disdain. That's just an excuse other men use when they fall out of love. I'm different. I'll only ever love our Lauren in this lifetime. Only love me for a lifetime, right? What if you fall in love with another woman? Then may I be struck by lightning and die a horrible death. Lauren sneered with a mocking smile. Such a heavy oath. Aren't you afraid it might actually come true? Everything I said is the truth. So why should I be afraid? Lauren picked up the knife and fork again, spreading jam on the bread. Justin said, Lauren, you have to believe me. Lauren simply said, let's eat. Do you still not believe me? Do I have to cut my heart out and show it to you before you'll trust me? There are still people at the company waiting for you. Don't be late. Justin finally relaxed and sat down across from her. Let them wait a bit longer, a bunch of useless guys. I'll fire them sooner or later. Fire her. Would you really be willing to? Lauren said her, not them. She didn't know Justin had noticed or not, only hearing him say, apart from you, there's nothing I can't bear to part with. After breakfast, the two went to the company together, but Lauren was really uncomfortable with the passenger seat, so she insisted on sitting in the back. I get carsick, the back is more comfortable, and I can get some air. Justin didn't press her further. Alright then. I'll try to drive as smoothly as possible. When they arrived at the company entrance, Justin jogged over again to open the car door for her. Lauren was once again surrounded by employees during the morning rush as she got out of the car. A few executives even jogged over, fawning, Madam is here, Mr. Justin keeps mentioning how much you love milk tea. I'll go get some for you right away. Another one also said, I'll go buy the snacks. The missus loves eating little cakes. Justin laughed and scolded, you guys better stop feeding her. Lauren has gotten a bit chubby now. She can't even fit her wedding ring anymore. This Mr. Justin, you're absolutely wrong about. The missus looks very slim if the wedding ring doesn't fit. It must be the ring's fault it shrank. Go on, if you're going to flatter then flatter, but you're being way too obvious about it. How could silver possibly shrink? You're the one who doesn't understand, Mr. Justin loves his wife so much. As long as she's happy, Mr. Justin is happy too. And won't we all have good days then? Justin smiled and said good-naturedly, all right, you found my weak spot. Everyone burst into laughter. Lauren was practically swept along by the crowd into Justin's office. Fruits, snacks, milk tea, everything you could want. Justin also used his computer to find a TV series for Lauren. Lauren, I have to get back to work. You can stay here and relax. If you need anything, just call in outside. Lauren asked deliberately, what about your personal assistant Nina? Why haven't I seen her today? Justin said, I'm not sure either. I'll have HR call and check on her later, as he was leaving. Justin affectionately ruffled her hair and whispered, wait for me to come back. We'll have lunch together. Justin left. Those executives also left. Lauren noticed his phone left on the table. She hurried out after him, only to overhear the conversation between those executives. The rooftop, Mr. Justin and Nina are getting more adventurous. No choice. Who knew Mrs. Kenneth would suddenly come to the company today? They had to change locations. Should we still deliver condoms to Mr. Justin today? No need. I just saw Mr. Justin when he went up. He had several boxes stuffed in his pocket. Heh. Mr. Justin is really something, managing to buy a set right under Mrs. Kenneth's nose. Just use a delivery service. It's so convenient these days, you can buy anything you want. Lauren suddenly understood. So those persistent phone calls in the morning were from the delivery guy. He placed the order early in the morning, having a courier buy condoms for him. Looks like he's really looking forward to today's rooftop date, starting preparations so early. I wonder if a few boxes will be enough. Last time, Mr. Justin and Nina did it in the car for a whole day and night. The next day, Nina walked with a strange posture when she went to work. If it's not enough, we'll just deliver more. As subordinates, shouldn't we take good care of our boss? Weren't you just saying we should take good care of the boss's wife? Pfft, what does she know? A cup of milk tea and a few snacks are enough to fool her. Mr. Justin, with his status and position, who doesn't keep a few women on the side, with money and power, playing around with women is perfectly normal. Just keep it hidden from the one at home. That's true, she seems especially naive. Keeping it from her shouldn't be hard. Just as they were speaking, Justin appeared. Don't speak carelessly in front of Lauren, understand? The executives nodded repeatedly. Understood, Mr. Justin. We know our boundaries, one of them asked. Mr. Justin, why did you bring your wife today? You and Nina had to hide on the rooftop, and we all have to watch our words. Justin shot him a glare. Lauren is the company's boss lady. She can come whenever she wants. Who asked for your opinion? Yes. Justin warned sternly again. Take good care of Lauren. She had an upset stomach yesterday, so don't give her anything raw or cold. And if anyone dares to spill the beans about me and Nina, they'll be packing their bags immediately. Got it? The executives nodded with smiles. The rest of the words Lauren didn't hear. She had quickly returned to Justin's office and placed his phone amidst a pile of snacks. After a while, Justin walked in. He still had that gentle and gentlemanly demeanor. Little glutton, what are you eating that's so delicious? The term little glutton sent a shiver down Lauren's spine. She endured her discomfort and asked, didn't you go to a meeting? Why are you back? I left my phone here. Have you seen it? Lauren shook her head. No. Justin rummaged through the snacks and found his phone. It got mixed in with the snacks. Well, enjoy your food. I'll head out now. Ring ring. This time it was Lauren's phone that rang. She answered it. Hello, is this Miss Molly? Yes, I am. Hello, Miss Young. Your flight to Norway scheduled for 1 week from now has been successfully ticketed. You can simply bring your passport for boarding when the time comes. Besides the passport, do I need to bring any other documents? No, just the passport will suffice, okay? After hanging up the phone, Justin looked puzzled. Passport, Lauren. What do you need a passport for? Lauren said. It's for a friend of mine. She lost her passport and asked me how to get a replacement. Justin quickly stepped forward and hugged her tightly. You scared me. I thought you were going abroad without me. Lauren turned her head and vomited again. He carried a strong, fishy sweet scent, mixed with the fragrance of a woman's perfume. Justin patted her back with concern. What did they feed you again? I clearly told them earlier. You've had stomach issues these past 2 days. They must take good care of you. Just wait, I'll go fire them all right now. Lauren mustered all her strength to push him away this time. Fire whoever you want, just stop using me as an excuse all the time, okay? Justin was caught off guard by her sudden outburst. Lauren, are you mad at me? Because I was busy with work all day and didn't spend time with you, he said. How about this? Tomorrow I'll cancel all my work and just focus on you, okay? Lauren laughed in frustration. Just stay with me, yes, just with you. Lauren took a deep breath and slowly exhaled. I hope you mean what you say. That night, for some reason, it suddenly started pouring rain. Lauren has been vomiting since she got home. Justin wanted to approach her, but was Lauren firmly rejected. Don't come near me. The smell on you makes me vomit even more. Justin sniffed his sleeve and said, maybe you don't like the scent of my cologne. I'll switch to a different one next time. Justin, you should know in your heart that it's not about the cologne at all. Okay, don't be angry. I won't wear any perfume from now on. Is that all right? Lauren splashed cold water on her face, looked up, and stared at her reflection in the mirror. And outside the bathroom, Justin was anxiously holding a cup of hot water, waiting. She just couldn't understand why, even now, when he was covered in the sweet, intimate scent and the perfume from Nina, he could still act so seriously as if he loved her. She didn't understand why Justin seemed to care about her too, yet still betrayed their relationship without any restraint. Did it truly confirm what that executive said, that it's no big deal for men to fool around with women outside, as long as they keep it hidden from the woman at home? He misjudged her. She wasn't that naive or easy to deceive, nor was she willing to abandon her principles. If it's no longer wholehearted love, then she doesn't want any of it. Early the next morning, Justin took her to the hospital. After a series of tests, the doctor concluded, it's likely stress-induced gastroenteritis. Justin asked, what do you mean by stress-induced gastroenteritis? The patient has recently experienced significant emotional distress, which has had a profound impact, leading to abnormal gastrointestinal function and resulting in vomiting. Justin asked Lauren. Lauren, have you encountered anything upsetting lately? Tell me, maybe I can help you solve it. Lauren turned her face away, avoiding his closeness. You can't solve it, just tell me first. There are very few things in this world that I can't solve. Yeah, this is really something only he can solve. Lauren actually had a fleeting thought to ask him if both she and Nina fell into the water, who would he save first? But then it occurred to her, one shouldn't place their fate in another's hands. Rely on mountains and they'll crumble. Depend on people and they'll flee. She can swim on her own. She can save herself. She no longer needs Justin. In Norway, she applied to art school under the name Molly, back then, to marry Justin. She gave up her dream of continuing to paint, but from now on, she will live for herself. Lauren, how about I take you to see a movie this afternoon? There's a new comedy out that'll cheer you up. This afternoon, don't you have work? We agreed I'd spend the whole day with you today. I keep my word and never go back on my promises. The next second, his phone rang. He had intended to hang up, but after staring at the caller ID on the screen for a second, he hesitated. Lauren almost watched his expression change from initial irritation to later hesitation. She smiled. Go ahead, company matters are important, Justin said. I'll be quick, just give me 5 minutes. Justin was about to go out with his phone when Lauren stopped him. Just take the call here. I won't understand your company matters anyway, so no need to worry about me leaking secrets. Justin paused awkwardly. After hesitating for 2 seconds, he still answered, his brow furrowed with anger. Didn't I tell you not to call me today? What's so important? Something was said on the other end, but Lauren faintly heard a woman sobbing. Justin spoke cautiously in front of her. All right, I got it. Wait a moment. After hanging up, Justin apologetically said to Lauren, Lauren, there's a very important document at the company that needs my signature. The manager has already brought it to the hospital and is waiting downstairs. I'll come right back up after signing. It'll take at most half an hour. Lauren nodded. Justin almost ran as he quickly left the examination room. The doctor said with a smile, Mrs. Kenneth, Mr. Justin really loves you. He even put aside his work for you. Is that so? Lauren forced a smile. Excuse me, doctor, I need to use the restroom. All right. After leaving the consultation room, Lauren just happened to see Justin impatiently skipping the elevator and running down the stairs. He did indeed go downstairs, but the floor below was the obstetrics and gynecology department. Her phone vibrated. Nina, Miss Lauren, I'm really sorry, but he probably won't be able to accompany you today with just one call from me. He'll come running to my side. Nina's messages kept pouring in. Nina, by the way, take a look at this image. This is my ultrasound report. I'm pregnant. Lauren zoomed in on the image and finally managed to read the line at the top of the examination sheet clearly. Embryo at 8 weeks, threatened miscarriage. Nina, yesterday, we did it countless times on the rooftop, trying every position imaginable. Maybe we went too hard, and now the baby is showing signs of a threatened miscarriage. Ugh, it's all his fault. He said being with you at home was boring like a dead fish, so he wanted to spice things up with me. Nina. The doctor said that whether it's preserving the pregnancy or getting an abortion, the father's signature is required. I had no choice but to call him down. After all, compared to his child, his stomachache isn't that important, right? Lauren left the hospital by taking a taxi on her own. She went to a law firm. Hello, I'd like to entrust your firm with drafting a divorce agreement for me. She asked for nothing, and the lawyer was very reliable. Within half an hour, she obtained the complete version of the divorce agreement. The lawyer told her, "You don't need the man's signature, as long as you've been separated for 2 years. This divorce agreement will automatically take effect." Lauren was holding the divorce agreement when Justin happened to call. "Lauren, where are you? I've searched the entire hospital and can't find you," Lauren said. "I waited for you for so long but you didn't show up, so I went home first." "All right, I'm glad you got home safely." "Sorry, Lauren. There was something at the company that required my personal attention. I might have to go on a business trip these few days. Take good care of yourself at home. Next week, I promise I'll cancel all work to spend time with you." Lauren let out a heavy sigh. A lie told 10,000 times will no longer be believed by anyone. She no longer feels any emotional fluctuations now. Go ahead. Our Lauren is the most sensible one. Be good. Hubby will bring you freesias when he comes back tomorrow. Sensible? Lauren asked. "Justin, do you actually prefer women who act coquettishly and cling to you? Am I too sensible, making me boring? Is that it?" Justin was stunned for a moment. How could that be? "Of course, I like you the most. Whatever you are like, that's how I like you." "Justin, would you fall in love with another woman?" "Of course not. If you change your heart, I will leave you forever." Justin let out a mocking laugh. "Go ahead and run. I can shut down airports and train stations. As long as you're still called Lauren, I will never let you leave me. But on my passport, I'm no longer called Lauren. My name is Molly." Lauren emphasized again. "I'm serious. If I have a way to leave you, I have a way to make sure you can't find me." Justin was still smiling, as if teasing a cat. "All right, you run first. I'll give you 3 days, then I'll come find you. I told you. As long as you're still called Lauren, no matter where you go, I can find you. You can't shake me off." "Can't shake me off." Lauren laughed. "Then let's give it a try. There are 3 days left until the plane takes off." Nina sent a photo of Justin barbecuing by the beach. "Nina, to celebrate me being pregnant with his child, he rewarded me with a vacation in the Maldives. He said I'm working hard carrying the baby and told me to just lie back and wait to be served." Lauren didn't reply. She just met up with a few close friends for one last gathering. After all, we might not have the chance to meet again in the future. At this gathering, Lauren had a great time. There are 2 days left before the plane takes off. Nina sent another photo of Justin reading a book, but the book was titled Baby's Early Education Guide. "Nina, the new dad is very focused on the baby's education, even when it was just a tiny bean in my belly. Dad would talk to it through my tummy every day." Lauren still hadn't replied. She went to the bank, exchanged all the money into euros and cash, and then closed all her bank accounts. There was 1 day left before the flight departure. Nina sent a video this time. The video captures a breathtakingly beautiful and romantic fireworks display over the sea. Nina was moved to tears. Justin gently held and comforted her. "Why cry? There will be more surprises in the future, Nina. He reserved the entire island for me, bought out all the fireworks in the Maldives, just to celebrate my birthday. So today is Nina's birthday plus pregnancy. For the two of them, it must count as double happiness." Lauren finished reading and simply smiled faintly before calling the local charity organization. "Hello. I have a batch of clothes I'd like to donate to impoverished mountain areas." Soon, a representative from the local charity organization arrived by car. Justin, during the days he was away, she had already packed everything early, 5 large bags of clothes and shoes in total, all of which she donated, leaving not a single piece behind: ID card, household register, degree certificate, and so on. These belongings that belonged to Lauren, along with all her daily necessities from home, she took directly to the funeral home. She gave the staff some money and asked them to burn everything. Standing once again in this home where she had lived for 5 years, Lauren herself felt a sense of unfamiliarity. This home had been thoroughly cleaned by her, leaving not a single trace of her presence. She only had a backpack with her. Inside was just her passport. As for old belongings, there was only this phone in her hand. She used the phone to hail a ride to the airport. The driver stopped at the terminal entrance. Just as she was about to pay the fare with her phone, she received a call from Justin. "Lauren, I'm back from my business trip. I'm coming home to pick you up now. Let's go out for dinner together." He had indeed returned. With Nina by his side, Lauren sat in the car, just in time to witness the two of them walking out of the terminal. Justin pushed a luggage cart with two suitcases on it, one blue and one pink, clearly a matching couple's set, and Nina held onto his arm, leaning against his shoulder like a delicate bird. Was the business trip tiring? Not too bad, not too tired. By the way, I remember you said I could open the gift you gave me today, right? Yes, I'm so looking forward to it. You made me wait a whole week. I've been guessing every day what you would give me for our wedding anniversary. It must be something very meaningful, right? Very meaningful. You'll know when you see it. Okay, then wait for me. I'll be home in about 2 hours. 2 hours is more than enough. By then, her plane should have already crossed the border. Okay, see you soon. Love you. Lauren, after hanging up, she saw Nina pout in dissatisfaction, while Justin leaned down to kiss her lips, seemingly to comfort her. The taxi driver reminded her, "Miss, you haven't paid the fare yet." Lauren withdrew her gaze, scanned the driver's payment QR code, and directly transferred all the money she had to him. The driver noticed and panicked slightly. "Miss, you entered the wrong amount. It's $130, not $13,000. Let me refund the difference to you." "No need." Lauren pushed the car door open and stepped out. "I won't be needing it anymore. Thank you for bringing me here." "You're welcome. It's my job. And since you've paid the fare, of course I'd bring you here." "It's not the same. By bringing me here, you've set me on the path to my future rebirth." After getting out of the car, Lauren turned off her phone directly, took out the SIM card and casually threw it into the trash, then gave the phone to a child nearby. The child was very happy. "Thank you, sister." Lauren smiled and patted his head. "You're welcome." The child's mother felt embarrassed. "We can't accept something so valuable," Lauren asked. "Are you going abroad?" "Yes, we're going to Africa to find his father." Lauren smiled and said, "Then take it. It might come in handy in Africa." "All right, thank you then." Lauren waved goodbye to them, saying, "Have a pleasant journey." The broadcast was playing an urgent announcement. "Molly, please proceed to gate H23 for boarding as soon as you hear this announcement. Your flight is about to depart." Lauren clutched her passport, took one last look back, and then resolutely walked toward the boarding gate. Justin hung up the phone without sensing anything unusual. However, Nina had been feeling down. "The days when you belonged only to me are ending so soon, and we'll have to hide again." Justin warned her with a hint of threat in his voice. "Don't let Lauren notice anything unusual, or you know what will happen." Nina teared up. All right, I know, you've said it 1,000 times." Justin saw she was about to cry and finally softened his tone to comfort her. "It's best not to cry when you're pregnant. It's not good for the baby." "You scolded me. Then let me make it up to you by buying you a bag." "Which one caught your eye?" Nina looked up. "Let's go back to the company one more time before you go home." Justin disagreed slightly. "I already told Lauren I'd be home in 2 hours. There's not enough time." "Just say there was traffic. The airport expressway is always jammed anyway." Justin checked his watch, still hesitating. Nina wrapped her arms around his neck and kissed him on the lips. Justin pushed her away at first, but soon the push turned into an embrace. And then he took control, kissing her deeply. After a passionate kiss, Justin was thoroughly aroused. He chuckled hoarsely. "You little minx." Nina cheered up. "Come on, let's go back to the office. Consider it our last wild time together." In response, Justin scooped her up and strode toward the garage. Nina giggled in his arms. The luggage. Justin was impatient. "Forget it." The two fooled around in the car once, and after returning to the office, they went wild for another 2 hours. By the time it was over, Justin remembered to Lauren and gave her a call. "Hello. The number you have dialed is powered off." Justin felt something was off. Lauren never turns off her phone. Nina just happened to bring him a cup of coffee, sitting directly on his lap without any reservation. Why the rush? Her phone probably just died. As she spoke, she deliberately nuzzled against him like she was being coquettish. "I made this coffee for you myself. Should I feed it to you?" Life remained the same as before, yet Justin couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. First came the inexplicable sense of lacking something, then even the coffee's temperature felt off. Frowning, he said, never mind. Bring me a cup of hot tea instead. Nina coquettishly sidled up to him. Mr. Justin, are you changing your preferences again? The word again grated on Justin's nerves. Lowering his voice, he said, stop it, I'm not in the mood right now. You're just making a mountain out of a molehill. What could possibly happen to her alone at home? This time, Justin was visibly annoyed. Go change. Don't make me say it a third time. This time, Nina didn't dare to utter a word and immediately complied. Her role was to be a gentle and understanding confidant, so of course she wouldn't oppose him. The assistant also didn't dare to breathe loudly when delivering the schedule. Mr. Justin, you have a meeting this afternoon, and it's almost time. Justin originally planned to go home first to see Lauren, take her out for a meal, and then rush back to work. There was plenty of time for that, but now all the time was wasted fooling around with Nina, and with the meeting about to start. He had no time to go home. How much longer until the afternoon meeting? Justin glanced at his schedule and asked without looking up. The assistant mentally calculated the time and reported, about an hour. Justin stood up and said, I need to go home for a bit. If the meeting has already started by the time I return, don't wait for me. Let them proceed with the usual process. He didn't explain the reason, simply picked up his car keys and walked out, not even bothering to call the driver. This made Nina feel a sense of crisis. Nina quickly walked to the office door to block his way, holding his hand and coquettishly saying, aren't I right here with you? Why do you need to go find another woman? Justin was in a bad mood and naturally had no patience to comfort her. Pushing her hand away, he said, don't ever say such things again. Nina pouted and said, no way, I just don't want to give you up to another woman. As soon as these words were spoken, the most anxious person in the room became the assistant. His eyes darted around nervously, and if the floor-to-ceiling window could be opened, and if they weren't on the 40th-something floor, he would have seriously considered jumping out. Justin turned to look at Nina, his expression turning solemn and serious, his voice carrying a warning tone. From the very beginning, I told you to recognize your place. Lauren is my wife, and she will always be Mrs. Kenneth. Nina sulked and fell silent. Mrs. Kenneth's title and Justin's money would eventually be hers. Haste makes waste, so she decided to endure it for now. Justin hadn't returned home during the day for quite some time. Standing in the familiar villa, he felt an unfamiliar and refreshing sensation. Perhaps this was why they said absence makes the heart grow fonder. Lauren, I'm back, he called her name, stepping briskly through the yard and into the living room. The plants and flowers in the yard are neatly trimmed, and the indoor furnishings remain unchanged, with every corner spotless, reflecting the taste and style of the household. This is all Lauren's doing. Justin wanted to hug her and say, you've worked hard, dear. But a quick glance revealed no sign of her. He then asked the part-time cleaner who was working, where's my wife? Did she go out? At this time of day, Lauren would usually be at home. The servants looked at each other, none able to specify her exact whereabouts. We don't know. We haven't seen her since this morning. Justin was somewhat displeased. You don't even know whether she had breakfast or not. No one answered his question. Everyone silently thought to themselves, shouldn't you, as her husband, be the one who knows her whereabouts best? What's the point of coming to ask us? Justin sensed the subtle tension in the air. Lowering his hand, he found himself out by saying, never mind. Asking you all this is pointless. I'll go find her myself. He thought Lauren was sleeping in like she used to during their school days on lazy mornings, so he tiptoed upstairs, but the bedroom was equally empty. The windows and curtains were wide open, sunlight flooding the entire room and making everything inside feel warm and cozy. Yet in this inviting atmosphere, the one person who should have been there was conspicuously absent. Lauren is gone. Justin subconsciously walked over to take a look, and then saw a letter pressed under a box on the dressing table, containing Lauren's final 2 sentences to him. I already know everything about you and Nina. I'm leaving. No need to look for me. She didn't even leave a signature, just like that, lightly ending their many years of relationship. He didn't know that she had long run out of words to say to him. Justin called her almost immediately, but Lauren didn't answer. Justin clutched the letter bearing her handwriting so tightly that the edges crumpled into a mess without him even noticing. He persistently continued to call her, repeatedly pressing the dial button while searching every corner of the house without giving up. Whether it was her favorite flower bed in the backyard or the rooftop where the stargazing swing was set up, she was nowhere to be found in these places. She had truly left home. Sorry, the subscriber you dialed is power off. He finally faced reality after hearing this message for who knows how many times. Lauren wouldn't answer her phone anymore. There's always another way. Calm down, calm down. Justin raised his hands and vigorously rubbed his face. Only when his consciousness finally returned did he open his contacts, searching for the phone number of a mutual friend he shared with Lauren. They had known each other for many years, once the model couple who went from school uniforms to wedding dresses, and were quite familiar with each other's lives and social circles. Justin first called Lauren's best friend. The other party didn't answer at first, and it wasn't until the third call that they reluctantly responded to him. Upon learning the purpose of the visit, he responded with a cold laugh, "You're her husband, and even you can't find her, how could I possibly know?" The call was abruptly hung up. Justin had no time to dwell on the other person's rude attitude. He immediately began calling others without pause, but the results were all the same, and they all had complaints about him. Though they refrained from voicing them out of politeness, their relationship dynamics have been visibly off in recent years. Justin persistently questioned the last old classmate on the phone. Has she really not contacted anyone all this time? If she really wanted to leave, she should have discussed it with someone, right? The old classmate sounded like he'd heard a joke. "You're Lauren's closest person. If even you couldn't detect any clues, what use would it be for her to contact us? You'd better think carefully about whether you've had any recent arguments." Justin fell into silence. He and Lauren hadn't sat down to properly communicate in a long time. If they still had fights left to have, perhaps she wouldn't have gone as far as running away from home. He hung up the phone with this last contact, and an uncontrollable panic began to rise in his heart. The furnishings in the bedroom remained unchanged like everywhere else, but Lauren's belongings were all gone. Justin grew increasingly anxious the more he thought about it. He feared she might be acting on impulse, realizing she'd forgotten essentials while staying at a hotel, and dreaded even more that she might encounter financial gaps during her travels. Unable to bear the worry, he sat down by the swing and logged into his bank account to transfer money to her. He didn't even check the exact amount transferred, only knowing he'd entered multiple zeros, genuinely terrified she might face hardships abroad. Little did he know, she never needed his support to begin with. The bank staff called almost immediately. "Mr. Justin, all your recent transfer attempts have failed." Justin, teetering on the edge of breakdown with none of his usual composure left, demanded bluntly, "Is it an issue with transfer limits or frequency? I can verify it's me. I'll provide verification codes or signatures right now. I need to send money to my wife." He couldn't remember the last time he personally transferred money to Lauren. It seemed that long ago. His wealth and rising status had allowed him to set aside many trivial matters. Their wedding anniversary decorations were arranged by an event planning company. Gifts were purchased by his assistant. And even the household expenses for their shared life were automatically deducted. Individually, these things might seem insignificant, but together they were enough to become the straw that broke the camel's back. Justin belatedly realized how unintentionally distant he had become from her, and he was filled with deep regret. His desire to make it up to her grew stronger by the moment. The bank staff informed him, "Mr. Justin, there are no issues on your end, but the account you transferred to no longer exists." "Why? That bank card was cancelled yesterday." "Yesterday?" Justin heard himself ask in return, then hung up the phone amidst the staff's affirmative response, exhausted both physically and mentally. He raised a hand to cover his face, letting out a choked sob. Had he just called Lauren once these past few days, he would have noticed Lauren's unusual behavior, but he didn't. Now it was all too late. An hour passed quickly. But Justin could no longer focus on work. Instead, he frantically searched for any clues on the social media platforms Lauren had used. Perhaps she would reveal a bit of her true feelings on the internet where no one knows her. Justin wasn't in the habit of using social media, but he remembered Lauren's username. No matter which platform she used, she always gave herself the same name. He first opened the most commonly used one, only to find their chat history had long been frozen on a certain day in the past, and her account had already been deactivated. Her old profile picture was replaced by a gray, generic system silhouette. Justin felt as if someone had punched him in the chest. He then searched for content related to her on other social media platforms, only to find either user does not exist or accounts clearly registered by someone else. He tirelessly scrolled and searched for a long time, but all he found were traces of her presence in reposts by others. As for her ID, it had already vanished without a trace. Justin, unwilling to give up, called the platform. He provided Lauren's personal information and demanded, "I've read your platform's rules. Deleted accounts can be recovered within 7 days. I want her data restored now. Refused to comply. Sir, withdrawal of the application must be done by the individual themselves. Justin unreasonably insisted. I'm her husband. Can't I withdraw it on her behalf? I'm sorry, sir. Fine. I'll file a complaint against you. Expect to receive a court summons. Don't think I don't know. You have access to this information in your back end. Restoring the account details shouldn't be difficult at all. Make yourself at home. The reply was polite and calm. They had seen all sorts of odd people and didn't take threats to heart at all. After all, legal procedures would have to be followed in the end. Justin realized neither soft nor hard tactics worked and instantly deflated. He hung up the phone, then used his connections to reach the platform's person in charge, softening his tone to request their assistance. I know you have regulations, but my wife ran away from home. She left without taking anything, even deactivated all her social media accounts and bank cards. If you can't help recover the data, I'll truly have no leads left. I'm begging you. He rarely lowered himself to plead. But for Lauren, he had no choice but to humble himself. Fortunately, after confirming his wife was indeed missing, the other party relented. Justin got what he wanted. Lauren's social media account. Her profile picture was a painting of her own, exuding an indescribable sense of grace and tranquility. Much like her real self and her username, Lauren wasn't usually talkative in person, yet surprisingly, she had documented years of her life online. She was among the first batch of new users on this social platform. With her earliest mood post sent shortly after they started dating, "We're together now." The emoticons popular back then seem quite outdated now, but Justin still couldn't help but smile knowingly, feeling once again after all these years Lauren's sweet emotions when they were in love. She used to love sharing her life on this account. There were sketches drawn during leisure time, gifts he gave her during their relationship, the wedding bouquet, and the carefully tended flower garden after marriage. Justin read them one by one, his heart softening as if a piece of it had collapsed. But just as he was greedily reminiscing about the past, she stopped posting photos and sharing her life. The last content related to her was a photo of the starry sky taken while sitting on a rooftop swing, dated half a year ago. Did something happen back then? He tried hard to recall, then suddenly remembered. It was shortly after he had gotten involved with Nina. He thought he had hidden it well, but somehow, traces of it had still been discovered. An unprecedented wave of regret swept over Justin, summoning his courage. He clicked open Lauren's last text message, sent late last night. The content was extremely brief. "It ends here." Lauren left no hints in the message, but he knew those words were undoubtedly meant for him. When she punctuated that sentence, she also completely severed the bond they had built over so many years. Justin muddled through the day in a daze. As night fell, what was once a warm home turned into a cold, empty structure. Lying alone in bed, he found himself completely engulfed by an overwhelming sense of emptiness. This feeling was utterly unbearable. The phone lit up several times by the pillow. Nina had been messaging him again to go out, but he didn't check it even once. Justin lay there until midnight, still wide awake. He simply turned on the bedside lamp, giving up on sleep, then moved to the spot where Lauren usually lay, trying to feel the warmth she might have left behind. At least last night, she must have slept here, right? He lost himself in thought, trying to recall the last time they had shared the bed. But his heart felt colder than his body. The silk sheets were smooth to the touch, yet they warmed up far more slowly than cotton. Many years ago, when he and Lauren had just graduated and couldn't afford such luxurious comforts, they would huddle together for warmth every night before sleep. Justin suddenly missed her terribly, his heart aching so intensely it felt as if someone were gripping it tightly. It wasn't until the alarm rang at midnight that he was jolted from his thoughts. Justin couldn't lie still any longer. He suddenly remembered Lauren had left him one thing, that beautiful jewelry box. He quickly walked to the dressing table and picked it up. The box was small, just the right size to fit in the palm of his hand. But upon opening it, instead of finding some exquisite piece of jewelry, there was only a small, oddly shaped lump of silver inside. Justin was puzzled at first. Lauren, why would she give him this? He habitually rubbed the wedding ring on his left ring finger, that silver ring he had personally crafted. Suddenly, he was struck as if by lightning. This little silver piece, that's her wedding ring. She melted her wedding ring. No sorrow is greater than a dead heart. He finally accepted the reality. Lauren didn't just run away or act out of anger. She won't be coming back. Justin lost all interest in celebrating his birthday. He drove to the police station overnight and gasped. I want to report a case. My wife is missing. She might have taken her own life. Lauren is an adult. She comes and goes freely without being restricted by anyone. If he wants to report her missing to the police, he must have a plausible reason, otherwise, the report will simply be rejected. The police accepted his report and accompanied him in the search until dawn, but found nothing. A female officer asked Justin, "Have you and your wife had any conflicts recently?" Justin hesitated and said, "No, we've always had a good relationship." The experienced policewoman could tell at once that he was hiding something and reminded him, "If you genuinely want to find your wife, you need to tell us the truth, otherwise, we can't help you." I had an affair, and I think she found out," Justin said, his face burning with shame. This should have been proof of his charm, but now, belatedly, he realized just how disgraceful it was. Especially since Lauren had left him for this very reason, the female officer bluntly retorted, "So your wife left home because you cheated on her?" Justin remained silent, only nodding with a strange expression. Fortunately, an unknown call came to his rescue just in time. Hoping it was Lauren reaching out, he answered. The caller was a man who introduced himself as a lawyer from a firm. "Is this Mr. Justin? I'm the lawyer commissioned by Mrs. Lauren. There's something I'd like to discuss with you in person. Are you available now?" "Yes, I'll be right there." Justin didn't bother explaining to the police. He lied about having other matters to attend to and drove over as quickly as possible. Justin was solely focused on seeing the lawyer as soon as possible to persuade Lauren to come back. Along the way, he ran countless red lights and endured numerous insults from passers-by, but none of it mattered to him. Until the lawyer handed him a divorce agreement, Justin didn't even notice. He glanced around the office and asked anxiously, "Where's Lauren? Is she still refusing to see me? I have something to say to her. Tell her to come out." "I'm sorry, I can't do that. Because Miss Lauren never came. She has fully entrusted our law firm to handle the divorce proceedings. If Mr. Justin has any objections, you can tell me directly." The lawyer raised the hand holding the divorce agreement slightly. Finally drawing his attention to its existence, Justin's face instantly darkened. He took it, glanced at it just once, then immediately tore the agreement to shreds and forcefully scattered the pieces everywhere. Through gritted teeth, he said, "There's no way I'm divorcing her." With red-rimmed eyes, he emphasized, "I made a mistake, sure, but what man in the world doesn't? I've already realized my error. If she doesn't like it, I'll never see the people she dislikes again. Isn't that enough?" Lauren loved him so much. If they could just meet one more time, she would surely be moved by him. The lawyer smiled slightly and reminded, "Mr. Justin, since you already know you're the at-fault party, you should also be aware that divorce isn't only achievable through mutual agreement. There's also litigation." Miss Lauren said, "If you refuse, she'll authorize me to file a lawsuit." "She doesn't even plan to tell me this in person." Justin stared at the lawyer in disbelief, trying to detect any signs of deception on the other's face. The lawyer maintained a polite smile and said, "Miss Lauren mentioned she doesn't want to see you. Everything she needed to say was left in the letter." Justin let out a bitter laugh. "You call that a letter? She barely left me 2 sentences. Anyway, I won't sign it. I've already torn up the divorce agreement. I want to see her in person." His heart ached uncontrollably, as if something profoundly important had been brutally ripped from his chest. The lawyer had anticipated his reaction. Waiting for him to calm down slightly, he opened the folder again, took out a new divorce agreement, and handed it over, saying, "Miss Lauren instructed that the first divorce agreement would definitely be torn up by you, so she prepared 2 copies." Justin was furious and snatched it, ready to tear it up again. The lawyer smiled faintly and reminded him, "Mr. Justin, you're welcome to tear up as many copies as you like. The original document was reviewed by Miss Lauren herself, and we can print as many as needed. Once you're tired of tearing them up, I can always print more. After all, the expenses are reimbursable." Justin instantly felt all his strength drain away. His attitude changed faster than flipping a page, and he pleaded, "I'm sorry, I was rude earlier. Could you please tell me where Lauren is?" The lawyer remained unmoved. "Sorry, Mr. Justin, I don't know that." The implication was clear. She didn't want to see him, not even for a final goodbye. Justin became even more polite, speaking in a gentle tone as he negotiated with the lawyer. "How about this? If you tell me Lauren's whereabouts, I'm willing to offer, no, not 1,000, but 50 million as an exchange, Mr. Justin. I cannot disclose information that my client wishes to keep confidential. It's just one case. 5 million is enough for you to open another law firm, or even retire outright. No need for partners anymore. It's a very good deal." Justin attempted to tempt the other party into loosening their lips, but the lawyer remained unmoved. Mr. Justin, of course I'd love to strike it rich overnight, but I'd prefer to earn that money through my firm. Besides, I truly don't know Miss Lauren's whereabouts. After completing the assignment, she only contacted me by phone. Justin grasped at the last shred of hope. Give me the phone number she's using now, and I'll pay you just the same. She's still using her old number. When I called her today, no one answered. The lawyer replied flawlessly. The atmosphere in the room dropped to freezing point. Justin, seeing the lawyer was unmoved by either soft or hard tactics, darkened his expression and reiterated his stance. Then we have nothing more to discuss. No matter how many copies you print, I will never sign them. As for taking me to court, suit yourself. He didn't believe Lauren would fail to appear in court when the time came. Before that, he would do everything possible to seek her forgiveness. With so many years of shared emotions and countless mutual memories, even a brief meeting could rekindle affection, as long as he persisted in not divorcing. The day would eventually come when she would change her mind. The lawyer was well prepared for this. He immediately began educating Justin on the law. Mr. Justin, in fact, Miss Lauren doesn't need to sue you at all. This is merely a last resort. If possible, she still hopes to part with you amicably. For example, if you've been separated for over 2 years, you can proceed legally, and the court will grant a divorce on the grounds of irretrievable breakdown of the marriage. These were all things Lauren had researched in advance. Once she resolved to end this relationship, she leveraged her strong ability to take action by considering every possible scenario and preparing countermeasures. Justin stood frozen in place. Impossible. She wouldn't be so cruel to me. We loved each other so deeply. Could she really dismiss me over one mistake? He selectively forgot all his actions over the past 6 months, including his neglect of her. The lawyer didn't care about his thoughts, only emphasizing the facts. Mr. Justin, asking me won't help. This is simply how the law works. If you find it unreasonable, you can sue the legal system itself. Justin was well aware he couldn't win the case, but he stubbornly insisted. Then as long as I find Lauren during this time and reconcile with her, that should be fine, right? This time, the lawyer smiled without speaking, choosing to remain silent altogether. Divorce lawyers see countless lovelorn men and resentful women, and he had already realized that Miss Lauren was determined to get a divorce. No matter how much the man before him struggled, it would be futile. Justin was at a stalemate with the lawyer when the police called. Mr. Justin, based on the clues you provided, we've located the last known location where Miss Lauren's phone signal disappeared. Would you be able to come by? I'll be right there. The divorce agreement matter was temporarily put on hold. Justin had never heard of the location provided by the police. He entered the address into the navigation map as quickly as possible and sped all the way there. In sight was a wasteland without even unfinished buildings, surrounded by garbage everywhere, with the police searching for something at the scene. This scene deeply wounded Justin, as countless crime drama scenes instantly flashed through his mind, nearly overwhelming him to the point of fainting on the spot. A passing police officer steadied him. Mr. Justin, calm down first. Justin barely managed to steady himself, his voice trembling. Where is she? Have you found her? He thought Lauren had taken her own life, looking on the verge of fainting at any moment, and was utterly consumed by regret. He shouldn't have reported her as being in danger, when all she had done was leave him. Justin said hoarsely, it's all my fault. She didn't actually go missing. She just doesn't want anything to do with me anymore. I'm the one who wronged her. He was rambling incoherently, clearly in a state of extreme distress. The officer supporting him listened in confusion, then held up a bag and asked, Mr. Justin, we couldn't find Miss Lauren's phone, but we did recover a SIM card. Could you check if it's hers? Justin finally snapped back to reality, with the relief of someone who had narrowly escaped disaster. He countered. Just her SIM card. Where's the phone? The policeman shook his head. We've searched everywhere around here, but found nothing. Justin experienced extreme emotional highs and lows in a short period, and his visibly abnormal state was obvious to anyone. He took the bag and asked, can I open it to take a look? After receiving permission, he took Lauren's phone card out of the evidence bag. Justin inserted Lauren's phone card into his own device and pressed the power button. He was very curious about Lauren's exact feelings when she threw it away, and he also wanted to know if she still had even the slightest bit of lingering affection for him. The phone remained black-screened, clearly out of battery. Justin's mental thread nearly snapped on the spot. Maintaining the last shred of rationality, he pleaded with the police, Could you lend me a charger? I'll just charge it in the car for a bit and return it to you right away. The police didn't press further with questions. They just asked around among colleagues and eventually borrowed a power bank from a kind female officer, handing it to him while saying, "See if this works. This phone card has been soaked in water for a while/span. The wasteland was overgrown with waist-high wild grass, and even in autumn and winter, there was no shortage of condensed dew dripping down." Justin refused to accept this possibility as he charged his phone. He silently prayed to all the gods in his heart, perhaps because he prayed sincerely this time. The phone screen actually lit up after being charged. Justin first noticed the missed call notifications, almost all of which were from him calling her. Other than that, the only thing worth noting is the countless unread messages. Justin gently tapped to open them, then froze on the spot. These messages were all from Nina to Lauren. He had thought the two of them had no private connection at all. Nina's tone in the messages was completely different from how she behaved in front of him. It was like night and day. "Lauren, sis, Justin is someone you know well too. He's sentimental and can't bring himself to be harsh. As long as you're willing, he could keep supporting you indefinitely, but I feel some things are better said clearly. Feelings don't follow a first-come first-served rule, but I think if he had met me first, you two would probably just be old classmates who are slightly more than strangers now. A woman should know how to dress herself up, otherwise, which man would want to come home to someone who never wears makeup? Of course, being young isn't anything special, but it's still better than being middle-aged and still trying to compete with young girls. At least I have self-awareness." Justin complimented me again today, saying I'm beautiful. Tada, this is the necklace Justin gave me. He designed it himself. "Sister Lauren, you should understand me, right? We're truly in love. If you agree, you can keep that house as a breakup settlement, because Justin will buy me a new one." Many similar messages were sent, each one short and not particularly well worded, but they kept addressing Lauren as sister and repeatedly brought up age and Justin, with a level of pettiness so strong it practically oozed through the screen. The policewoman who lent a power bank to Justin happened to see a few of these messages and immediately sneered, her gaze toward him now laced with disdain. If an outside woman could send such messages to his wife, even if he had no intention of divorce, it at least suggested he was considering setting up a second family elsewhere. Perhaps only Justin himself believed that hiding things from Lauren was the ultimate expression of love for her. Justin furrowed his brows, feeling as if he had been plunged into an ice cellar, yet these messages were merely the appetizer. As he scrolled further up the records, he discovered that Nina had been sending photos to Lauren every now and then. There were photos of the gifts she had asked him for, screenshots of the amounts he had transferred to her, and even indecent pictures of them together after he had fallen asleep. Justin looked at the scenes in the photos and suddenly felt nauseated, overwhelmed by a sense of utter disgust toward himself. By this point, the police officers beside him could easily guess what had happened. Watching his reaction now, their sympathy was notably limited. Justin forced himself to return the power bank to the policewoman, looking utterly dejected as he pleaded, "I want to go back and check. Please continue searching for any trace of Lauren." He no longer had the face to refer to Lauren as his wife in front of outsiders. On his way back, he called Nina, his voice colder than ever before. "Where are you? Come to my place. There are some things we need to discuss face to face." Nina was overjoyed when, right away, Justin hung up the phone immediately after speaking. He was utterly exhausted, with no energy left to deal with problems elsewhere. As for the accommodation arranged by him and Nina, he didn't even have the slightest desire to set foot in it. Now, the mere thought of that place made him nauseous. Even though he hadn't had a sip of water since yesterday, Nina was much faster than him. By the time he drove home, she was already there, seamlessly assuming the role of the lady of the house without any psychological barriers, and was giving orders to the household staff, "Take down all those paintings, they're hideous. If you want to hang something, go buy a few valuable masterpieces. Who wants her ugly scribbles? And the carpets need to be replaced too. Later, I'll tell you which brand to get. The most expensive handmade custom one, otherwise, my girlfriends will think I'm lying to them when they visit. Pull out all those flowers outside. I want the most expensive ones." She issued her orders with great enthusiasm, keeping everyone on their toes while she flitted about like a butterfly, occasionally touching this, pinching that, and plucking leaves off potted plants only to toss them aside carelessly, until noticing Justin's presence, there was still no restraint. Nina ran up to him with a beaming smile, coquettishly saying, "Why did you take so long to come back? have you decided where to go for the celebration tonight? I think it might as well be here. After all, I'll be the lady of the house from now on. Oh, where's the chef? I want to order some dishes. She had always appeared like a little girl in front of him, though somewhat willful and vain. In his eyes, it was far from being bad. Justin saw her as a temporary pastime, never holding any expectations, so naturally, he wasn't disappointed by her shallowness. After all, what he enjoyed was merely her admiration and youth. Only at this moment did he realize how terribly wrong he had been. His gaze turned cold as he scrutinized her and asked, "What are you wearing?" Nina was lost in the beautiful fantasy of soon becoming Mrs. Kenneth. Even upon hearing his words, she didn't sense anything amiss. She even twirled in her dress, holding the hem. "I found it in the wardrobe. What do you think? Doesn't it flatter my figure? I searched everywhere, and this was the only one that fit. This nightgown is designed with comfort and skin friendliness in mind, and when worn by Lauren, it evokes the warmth of a dreamy slumber. But when she deliberately left the collar open and changed the way she wore it, it immediately appeared vulgar." Justin's eyes instantly blazed with anger. "That's the nightgown I bought for Lauren, and she hasn't even worn it yet." Nina completely misunderstood his meaning and, giggling, threw herself into his arms, saying, "Isn't this even more exciting? Justin, it's us. What are you doing?" Before she could finish speaking, Justin, unable to bear it any longer, yanked the nightgown off her body. Justin ignored the screams in his ears until the dress was completely thrown to the floor, from beginning to end. He never looked directly at Nina again. The servants were just there to earn a paycheck. Who would want to witness such a scene? They all turned and fled, rushing to the courtyard at top speed. Nina was initially horrified, but once she realized there was no one else around, she immediately assumed she understood his intentions and cooed with a flirtatious laugh. "Oh, it's not like I don't get what you mean. Why do you have to be so rough?" As she spoke, she nestled directly into Justin's arms. Making no effort to conceal her intentions, the two of them had come together purely for the sake of bedroom affairs, with no real feelings involved, so there was naturally no need for shame. As long as she could please him, she would receive piles of cash. Whether he saw her as a plaything or a lover didn't matter at all. As long as she could secure Mrs. Kenneth's title and wealth, Nina still dreamed of marrying into wealth, but Justin's reaction was to shove her away. How shameless. "You don't deserve to wear her clothes or touch her things." His eyes burned with fury, his expression filled with utter disgust, as if he couldn't bear to even touch her. Nina thought she had victory in her grasp this time, certain to become the future Mrs. Kenneth. After arriving here, she prepared to whisper in his ear, urging him to proceed with the divorce paperwork. For this purpose, she meticulously groomed herself, changing into a loose nightgown with only lingerie underneath. "How am I shameless? Haven't you always liked me this way?" Her face turned pale as she retorted defiantly, simultaneously trying to pick up the robe but having her wrist seized instead. Justin questioned with icy disdain, "If you had even an ounce of shame left, you wouldn't have sent those messages to Lauren, nor secretly taken photos of us together. I warned you long ago not to flaunt yourself before her. Was it you who drove her away?" He blamed all the mistakes on Nina, as if doing so could make the harm he caused Lauren negligible. Nina realized the truth was out, and her first reaction was to play dumb. "What are you talking about? Why would I send messages and photos to Lauren? I've been avoiding her at all costs." Did she find out something? After all, this kind of thing couldn't be proven, and she didn't believe Lauren would want to maintain this marriage after discovering Justin's infidelity. "You're still lying." Justin was almost amused by her audacity on the spot. "I was blind before, mistaking a fisheye for a pearl, but you're just a plaything. How dare you dream of becoming official? In my heart, you're not even worth a speck of dust beneath her feet." He vented all his fury over not being able to find Lauren onto Nina. Yes, it must be because she messaged Lauren. That's why his beloved left. Even if he was at fault, it was only a secondary responsibility at most. Nina had never seen Justin look at her with such terrifying eyes before. This only strengthened her resolve to deny the matter. Hugging her arms to partially cover herself, she said, "She must have fabricated those messages herself to frame me." As she spoke, she tried to retreat upstairs to change back into her original clothes, but Justin wouldn't let her leave, yanking her back forcefully. Nina panicked. "Justin, what are you doing?" This time, Justin couldn't be bothered to argue with her. He directly held up Lauren's phone for her to see. The screen clearly displayed the explicit photos she had sent and the deliberately provocative messages. Nina never expected Lauren to show him the message, and blurted out, Shouldn't she be asking you for a divorce directly? As soon as the words left her mouth, she realized her slip of the tongue and quickly tried to make amends. I didn't mean to lie. I was just afraid you'd get angry. Please forgive me just this once. If I hadn't loved you so much, I wouldn't have taken such a risk. Humph, Justin sneered and interrupted. Do you love me too much, or do you love the status of being Mrs. Kenneth and the money of the Kenneth family? You know the answer best in your heart. He regretted it deeply, having driven away Lauren for a woman like this. Nina, exposed by his words, still couldn't bear to give up everything she had invested before. She tugged at his sleeve, her eyes red, and pleaded with him. Time reveals a person's heart. Don't you know whether I'm sincere or not? I did it all to be with you. Do you think Lauren truly loves you? If a woman genuinely cares for you, she'd feel jealous, but she's never responded to me. I did it for your own good. If not to help you see her true colors, why would I risk sending those photos? What if she leaks them? Shut up. Justin wasn't buying any of it. He cut in sharply. You have no right to judge Lauren. Besides, getting exposed is exactly what you wanted, isn't it? You made sure to capture me clearly while carefully keeping yourself out of frame. Don't think I don't know. You've long planned to force my hand this way, haven't you? He was crystal clear now. But it was already too late. Nina wanted to argue further, but he loathed her so deeply that he wasn't willing to give her even the slightest chance. He directly picked up his phone and called the villa security personnel, ordering, "Remove the person who shouldn't be here." The villa security personnel were on standby 24/7 and arrived immediately upon receiving the order. Nina refused to leave with them, still struggling fiercely. "Justin, you were the one who asked me to come. If you want me to leave now, I'll go right away, but you can't treat me like this." Justin walked into the house with his back to her, tossing over his shoulder without turning around. "Don't let me see you again, Justin." Nina was dragged out of the villa gate just like that. She watched helplessly as the ornate iron gate closed before her eyes, as if seeing her life as a wealthy wife slipping away, and began to cry out in a tearful voice, "Justin, even without me, she would have divorced you sooner or later. You really can't blame me for this." On this point, she and Justin reached a subtle consensus. Neither was willing to take responsibility. It wasn't until she heard the murmurs and pointing of passers-by behind her that she suddenly realized, as if waking from a dream, what kind of image she was presenting. What's wrong with this young girl? It's so cold out. How could she run out naked? Young people these days are really pushing the limits. It's downright indecent. Didn't you hear? She admitted it herself. She caused someone's divorce. Looks like she got into a fight with the wife and was thrown out. TSK. The girl looks decent enough. How could she do such shameless things? Lucky we're in modern times. Otherwise she'd be paraded through the streets like this. Such a spectacle was truly rare to witness. Passers-by chatted among themselves while pulling out their phones to start recording. Unconcerned whether their uploads might get blocked on short video platforms, Nina still clung to her dream of rising from rags to riches and absolutely couldn't afford to ruin her reputation outside. Covering her face, she pleaded through the door, "Justin. Mr. Justin, I'll leave right away, but at least give me something to wear." Hearing the commotion outside, the security guard returned to Justin and reported, "Mr. Justin, Miss Lin." His words were abruptly cut off mid-sentence. Justin shot a glare at the other person. "I don't want to hear any more news about her." His foul mood was visibly apparent, and the security guard saw no reason to provoke him further by mentioning a stranger who had already caused enough chaos in the employer's household. Promptly falling silent, Nina screamed herself hoarse outside for a long time. Seeing Justin so heartless, she abandoned her pitiful pretense altogether and began shouting like a fishwife, "Do you really think I care about you? If you hadn't been so easy to hook, would I have even bothered with you? You'll regret this. All men are worthless. When she pays you attention, you dream of keeping your wife at home while fooling around outside. Keep dreaming. You keep claiming Lauren is your one true love. But did that stop you from fooling around with other women? Don't act so devoted. You're only fooling yourself." She completely dropped the act. Bystanders had initially stopped just to watch the drama. But upon hearing such juicy details, they couldn't help but linger, curious about who could cause such a spectacular scene and embarrassment. Nina finally felt ashamed, her face burning red as she snapped, "What are you all staring at? I'll call the police. Today is a work day." So the only people who would come to watch the commotion at this time are either retired uncles and aunts or neighbors who came out to check on the noise. Her aggressive tactics don't work on them. A passerby who happened to be walking by retorted sharply, do you think we want to watch this? You're the one who became a mistress, ruined someone else's marriage, and now you've been exposed and kicked out. Instead of going home, you're still here making a fool of yourself. Exactly, she really has no self-respect or dignity. People should at least have some shame. Anyone with even a bit of decency would be too embarrassed to show their face after something like this. Shame. Useless shame again. This was already Nina's second time being accused like this within just half a day. She chose to vent her frustration with angry shouts. Who says I'm the other woman? Did you see it with your own eyes? In a relationship, the one who isn't loved is the real outsider. The passerby arguing with her immediately burst into laughter. How dare you say such things? If that man truly cared about you, would he let you walk the streets naked? The way you're dressed now is only fit for the beach, just a plaything, yet you really think you're the main wife. The houses in this area are worth a fortune. Could it be that you failed to get the money and ended up losing more than you gained? The following remarks were downright heart-wrenching. Nina turned deathly pale, her face alternating between shades of green and white, looking utterly dreadful, having lost all her arrogance. She tried to slink away amidst the pointing and murmurs of the onlookers. A recently divorced aunt, who had just separated from her unfaithful husband, projected her anger onto Nina and stepped forward to block her path, scolding furiously. You're so young, why can't you do something decent instead of being a homewrecker? You vixen. Nina, seeing a stranger also come to scold her, she retorted without backing down. Auntie, with that face of yours, you couldn't even qualify as a seductress. Could you? Calling me a seductress, could it be because you couldn't keep a man's heart and got dumped? Pa, at least I'm better than you. Half naked and kicked out the door. The aunt, furious, reached out to grab her. The scene instantly descended into utter chaos. The aunt lived nearby and quickly rallied a group of her old friends to curse Nina as a shameless seductress. Meanwhile, other onlookers, seeing the commotion, called their friends over to watch. And soon a large crowd had gathered. The commotion was loud enough to be heard throughout the villa, yet Justin turned a deaf ear, completely immersed in his own world and unwilling to emerge. No matter how much Nina threw tantrums and rolled on the ground, she couldn't outshout the crowd. Furious to the point of tears, she tried to cover her face and flee, only to nearly fall prey to the groping hands of a lecherous man taking advantage of the chaos. Get away, don't touch me. Seeing that Justin had turned cold and heartless, clearly no hope there, she instinctively cast her gaze toward the other men present. Those accustomed to being parasitic vines would never conceive of standing on their own feet. Nina was convinced that all the women in the crowd were jealous of her, so she pinned her hopes solely on the few lecherous men. She slightly held back her tears, putting on a pitiful, tear-streaked expression, and shouted, "Whoever is willing to help me, I'll sleep with them. I mean it." Among the onlookers, there were already a few men with ill intentions. The lecherous ones were about to take off their coats and step forward to help, but as soon as they moved, their companions pulled them back. You can stop and enjoy the show, but you'd actually dare to take such a loose woman. She's so young yet uses this as a bargaining chip. She clearly doesn't care. She's just a used-up pair of shoes. Exactly, who knows? Maybe she was kicked out by the man she was clinging to because she caught some filthy disease. Is this some kind of social revenge? We need to call the police immediately. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone, whether they were just watching for fun or trying to take advantage, scattered to a distance. Even the aunt who had previously been Nina fighting with quickly clapped her hands, as if trying to shake off something dirty. Nina had often relied on her looks to benefit herself and had even taken pride in it. But now, seeing others avoid her like the plague, she finally realized this was a profound humiliation. The iron gate in front of her remained tightly shut, showing no sign of opening. Nina had no choice but to wrap her arms around herself and flee in panic toward her residence. On the way, she encountered a stray dog that barked fiercely at her, frightening her into darting into the nearest alley in a blind panic. Woof! The stray dog chased after her even more eagerly when it saw her running. Nina dared not stop. She sprinted the entire way, deliberately choosing narrow paths to avoid the stray dog. By the time she could no longer hear the barking behind her, she had completely lost her bearings. Her phone and coat were left in the villa, and now she couldn't even call for help, let alone know the way back. The surroundings were desolate, with only a few abandoned, dilapidated houses that even homeless people wouldn't visit. Shivering with fear, she moved away from these dangerous places while shouting loudly, "Help! Is anyone there?" Only the wind answered her. That night, Nina had to walk all the way back on foot. She endured scornful looks all along the way, if she hadn't been wandering around half-naked after nightfall and encountered a kind soul who called the police. She might have been still stumbling through the wilderness by dawn the next day, but these were merely the beginning of her retribution. The termination letter arrived home faster than she did. After that, she briefly became an online sensation, utterly disgraced and too ashamed to show her face in public ever again. Justin was true to his word. After driving Nina out of the house, he completely erased her from his mind and sat alone on the sofa until dawn, until someone reported to him, "Mr. Justin, we found a witness at the airport who claims to have seen the missus boarding a plane." Justin was stunned. "I checked the passenger lists of all flights that day, and her name wasn't on any of them." "Ah, then the witness must have been mistaken. It was probably someone who looked a lot like the missus. This lead seems useless. I'll try to find another way." "Wait, come back," Justin said. "We can't overlook any clue. Which flight did the witness see Lauren board?" "It should be the one heading to Norway. Book me a ticket to Norway immediately." Justin snapped back to reality, then rushed out the door with his documents without even changing his clothes. He was burning with anxiety. But visas and plane tickets aren't things you can arrange on the spot. By the time he set foot on Norwegian soil and located Lauren by contacting the embassy and local police, 3 days had already passed. Justin knocked on the apartment door, calling out Lauren as he tried to push his way in, only to be immediately stopped by the landlord who was tidying up the place. The landlord eyed him warily and asked, "Who are you?" "I'm looking for Lauren," he said. Then realizing she went by her English name here, quickly added, "She's my wife. There's been some misunderstanding between us, and I want to talk it out with her." The landlord waved him off on the spot. "There's no one here by that name. Her name is Lauren." The landlord still insisted, "My tenant is named Molly, not the person you mentioned." "You've got the wrong person, Molly." Justin fell into confusion. "Are you sure you're not mistaken?" The landlord looked somewhat displeased. "If you don't believe me, forget it." With that, he started to close the door. Justin was unwilling to let go of the clue before him. He pulled out some cash and pressed further. "Consider this a tip from me on her behalf. Could you tell me exactly when she checked in and whether she contacted anyone during her stay?" The landlord took the tip but still remained tight-lipped. Nothing was gained. Justin had been experiencing such extreme highs and lows lately that his voice was tinged with despair. He waited dejectedly for a long time, until he was certain that Lauren had vanished without a trace, leaving no clues behind, before returning to his country in utter desolation. From that day on, he never went to the company again, instead shutting himself in at home. The assistant called Justin to report on work, but he interrupted without hesitation. "Any news about Lauren?" "And no. The missing person notices have been posted, but there's no news yet." All these tasks were done according to Justin's instructions. He was barely holding on by sheer willpower. Upon learning there was no progress, he neither got angry nor gave further orders, but responded with an eerie calm, "All right, I see." The call ended just like that. The assistant broke out in a cold sweat in broad daylight, quickly realizing something was amiss. In the following days, he dutifully called to report the situation, but as time passed, Justin's responses grew increasingly brief. At first, they were complete phrases like "got it" or "continue," but eventually, they dwindled to just a simple hum. Alarm bells rang in the assistant's mind. Fearing that Justin might have suffered a breakdown and was isolating himself in the villa to wither away, he hastily contacted Justin's parents to check on him. Justin's dad, Justin's mom. Upon hearing about their son's accident, they rushed over immediately. The servants in the villa were still following Lauren. The rules and procedures established before she left. Everything was in perfect order, except for the absence of the master of the house. Justin's mom stopped a cleaning servant anxiously and asked, "Where is my son? Why hasn't he come out?" Justin used to come out personally to greet them whenever he knew they were coming, but today he showed no intention of appearing. As for the calls they made to him in advance, he didn't even answer them. The servant pointed upstairs and said with a rather unpleasant expression, "Mr. Justin has locked himself in his bedroom and won't let us disturb him." Justin's mom grew even more worried. "So he hasn't come out at all?" "No." "What about meals? Haven't you taken any up to him?" "He won't eat or drink, and there's nothing we can do about it. Anyone who dares to knock on his door will get scolded." Justin's dad, Justin's mom exchanged glances, realizing the situation was truly dire this time. Justin had been living in complete isolation lately. Though his bedroom door wasn't locked from inside, they knocked for a long time without getting any response. So they simply pushed the door open and were stunned by the scene before them. The bedroom floor was covered with scattered papers. leaving almost no space to step, yet Justin sat cross-legged on the floor, still bent over his notebook, scribbling away. The room was bathed in ample sunlight, yet he appeared eerily gloomy and somber. Justin's dad bent down to pick up a few sheets of paper and glanced at them, only to find the same phrase written over and over, "Lauren, I was wrong." Justin's mom was instantly horrified. She went to Justin's side and took a look, seeing his eyes bloodshot from exhaustion, his hand trembling as he held the pen, yet he was still repeatedly writing the same phrase. Tears welled up in her eyes as she cried out, "What are you doing?" Justin's dad snatched the paper and pen away in frustration. "What's the point of writing this? We already know everything. How could you do such a thing?" He always thought his son and Lauren were a harmonious couple, never imagining they had already reached the point of emotional breakdown. Justin looked at his disappointed father, covered his face with his hand, and said, "It's all my fault. I wronged Lauren. I couldn't resist the momentary temptation and betrayed her. I will finish writing these, and then let her know the sincerity of my repentance." The papers on the floor were of the same material as the stationery Lauren had left for him. He moved the unused notebooks from the study to the bedroom and wrote day and night for several days. Time lost all meaning in that moment. Justin's mom wept and said, "Lauren doesn't want to see you at all. What's the use of filling a room with apology letters? You should say these words to her in person." Justin pondered seriously for a moment and admitted his mother had a point, but he was already trapped in a dead end, unable to extricate himself. Raising his bloodshot eyes, he insisted, "She'll understand. Once I finish writing all of this, she'll forgive me, right? I must be sincere." His voice was hoarse, but his tone was unusually fervent, and his gaze was unnaturally bright. Mid-sentence, he suddenly stood up, snatched the notebook back, and continued writing with trembling hands, murmuring to himself as he wrote, "Lauren, I was wrong. You'll forgive me, won't you? Once I fill all these notebooks, you'll come back and forgive me. I'm sorry." Justin repeated these words tirelessly. Justin's mom looked at her son, who seemed to have gone mad, and pleaded helplessly through tears, "I'm begging you, please stop writing these things without eating or drinking. If this continues, you'll die." No matter how she tried to persuade him, Justin remained unmoved. She attempted to snatch the notebook away, but she simply wasn't strong enough. In the end, it was Justin's dad who couldn't bear to watch any longer and came up with an idea. "Don't you want to apologize to Lauren? Then you need to show her your sincerity. Here's what we'll do. There's a popular missing persons show airing soon. Sign up for it and apologize to her in front of the cameras and the audience." The show had been gaining a lot of attention lately, and Justin, with his reputation as a young talent, was sure to draw even more interest. Perhaps Lauren would see his remorse from some corner of the world. Justin immediately signed up in person and secured a guest spot on the latest episode by making an additional investment. The production team caught a whiff of gossip from his marital breakdown and wasted no time in ramping up promotional efforts, ultimately making this episode a sensation before it even aired. Justin made no effort to conceal his emotions, but for the sake of the show, he still showered, shaved, and tidied himself up to look presentable before heading out. He deliberately tied the first tie Lauren had bought him after their wedding. Back then, their love was at its peak, and every morning before leaving, they would share a goodbye kiss in each other's arms. As time passed, such beautiful memories were ultimately destroyed by his own hands. The audience seats in the studio were packed to capacity, all drawn by this sensational gossip event. The host immediately noticed Justin's haggard appearance and subtly probed for the reasons behind his marital breakdown in the initial questions. Unexpectedly, he was remarkably direct, openly admitting the entire sequence of events. "I came here today to sincerely apologize to my wife, Lauren. I broke my promises. When we first got together, I showered her with sweet words, believing we would grow old together, as loving as ever. But I never imagined I would succumb to temptation and make such a grave mistake. Regarding the issues in our marriage, all the fault lies with me. I was the one who cheated first, and that's why she left. Today, sitting here, I just want her to give me a chance to ask for her forgiveness." Justin spoke with genuine emotion, clearly expressing his remorse toward Lauren, nearly choking up by the end, with the show's promotion. This video quickly spread across the internet and sparked discussions on major forums. Some netizens even followed the clues to uncover Lauren's past artwork and the identity of the other woman, Nina. Yet, among all these differing voices, there was no news whatsoever related to Lauren. Justin waited for several days before finally mustering the strength to call his assistant. "I remember there's a video section on the company's official website promotional page. Put my apology video up there. With no time limit, keep it until we have news from Lauren. What difference does this make from stomping on his and the company's reputation? The assistant thought this was going too far but didn't dare to advise against it, only asking, should we post it at the headquarters or the branches? All of them, Justin said, as if it wasn't enough. Aren't there ad spaces on social media? By those two, front page, large placements, both domestic and international. If anyone has information about her, they can contact me. Oh, and put my personal number up there too. An ordinary missing person notice caused a huge uproar due to Lauren's identity and the story behind it. Justin thought he had gone this far. Lauren would choose to call and talk things out with him even if she saw his haggard appearance on the show, but she never contacted him, even though he kept his phone on 24/7 with the ringtone volume at maximum. Several days later, the first call from an unknown contact came through, and the first words were, "Is the reward for clues in the missing person notice real?" Of course. All right, then give me 100,000, and I'll tell you where I saw her yesterday. You saw her yesterday? Yeah, hurry up and transfer the money. Justin didn't hesitate and immediately sent the money over. His reason had long been crushed by boundless despair, until the other party vaguely gave a domestic address. At which point he hung up the phone with a bitter smile. Unsurprisingly, the person had lied to him, but he didn't pursue it, for he had no strength left. After that day, similar calls never ceased. Everyone says they saw Lauren at some place, then asks Justin for more or less reward money. He knew full well how many scammers were among them, yet he still sent them money, clinging to that sliver of hope. The so-called reward money ultimately vanished without a trace, not even a ripple left behind. But Justin didn't care at all. He's now hanging on by that thread of hope, and even if someone calls to arrange a meeting, he'll still show up without hesitation. There were also some women who would seek him out in such situations, but each was dressed seductively with ulterior motives, bluntly telling him, "Mr. Justin, I have many girlfriends. If you're feeling lonely, we can all keep you company." This attracted the attention of professional escorts in the flesh trade. Justin showed them no courtesy, directly responding with a single word, "Get lost." As a result, even those who tried to deceive him stopped coming, and his phone lay quietly Nina for an entire day, even more silent than he himself was. A month passed like this, and eventually, something happened to him at home. That afternoon, the servant noticed that Justin hadn't left his bedroom all day, and even the usual response of telling them not to bother him when they knocked had stopped. Cautiously, they pushed the door open to take a look. They found him lying unconscious on the carpet, his condition so critical that he was barely breathing. Only then did they call an ambulance to rush him to the hospital. Justin's dad and mom had aged several years in less than a month. They waited outside the emergency room, looking as if they might collapse at any moment. To make matters worse, the doctor delivered bad news. The patient fainted due to dehydration and malnutrition, which isn't immediately life-threatening, but this is a mental health issue, and it's already quite severe. Without prompt treatment, he may develop suicidal tendencies. Justin's mom fainted on the spot upon hearing this. Justin's dad also wanted to faint, but with his wife and son still needing his care, he had to force himself to stay strong, sign the papers, and pay the fees. Only after their condition stabilized did he record a new video in Justin's hospital room. In the video, his hair was gray, and tears streamed down his face as he pleaded with Lauren to come back and save Justin's life for the sake of their past relationship. Across the ocean, Lauren knew nothing about this. She had left with the firm resolve to sever all ties to her past, which included learning anything about Justin or that company ever again. In the Norwegian forest, there stands a small wooden cabin. During the winter season, most townsfolk stay indoors enjoying the snow and resting. Following local customs, she made the same choice. Lauren set up her easel by the window, painting the snow-clad winter scenery while occasionally sipping her hand-ground hot coffee, with her recently adopted kitten curled at her feet. The kitten was extremely clingy and loved to act spoiled. It meowed and jumped onto her lap, clearly asking to be petted. At that very moment, the door was knocked. Lauren had no choice but to pick up the kitten and open the door. Finding the visitor to be her landlord Lisa, she immediately stepped aside to let her in. The little one insisted on being spoiled, so I had no choice but to bring it along. "No problem, look how adorable it is." Lisa shook the bag she brought towards Lauren and explained, "I baked some cookies at home and wanted to share some with you." "Thank you," Lauren said, pouring Lisa a cup of coffee as well. The small town had simple, honest folk, and winter life tended to be dull, with little to do. Visiting neighbors was a common pastime. Just a month had passed, yet she and Lisa had already become close friends who could talk about anything. Lisa shared something with her in the following conversation. Molly, I saw a video on social media. It was a man's apology video. He also posted a missing person notice with photos that looked a lot like you, along with his contact information. I was curious if you'd seen it. Actually, the more she looked at the photos, the more they resembled Lauren, but Lisa, recalling her habit of rarely checking social media since arriving here, worried there might be more to the story. That's why she chose a more tactful way to ask. Lauren smiled faintly. Really, what a coincidence. But my looks are actually quite common back home. It wouldn't be strange for someone to resemble me. That was her way of denying it. Lisa looked at Lauren's classically beautiful Eastern features and immediately understood her meaning. Though she chose not to voice it directly, instead, she changed the subject. Actually, it's not just that man. His parents also posted videos saying he seems to be living miserably, almost on the verge of death, it must be said. Justin's performance in the video was quite moving. Even foreigners who didn't understand the language could sense his despair through his expressions and the subtitles. That won't happen. Lauren cradled the kitten in her arms, her eyelashes lowered as she spoke. Everyone is an independent individual. No one has to live by clinging to someone else. If he truly gives up on himself because of this, then there's nothing to be done. We can't sacrifice others just to save him. Her mind was made up. Even if Justin stood before her weeping and pleading, she would never turn back. Lisa also smiled. That's good then, you can stay here without worry. There's been a heavy snowstorm in the forest recently, and the roads to nearby cities are temporarily blocked. Even if someone mistakes you for being the same person, there won't be any chance for them to contact others and cause a misunderstanding. Lauren felt warmth rise in her heart. She took a bite of the freshly baked cookies, her eyes reddening as she said, "Thank you. The cookies are delicious, really." The days flowed by like water, and soon it was the eve of Christmas, a major occasion for the town's residents. Many young people working away would make a special trip back to reunite with their families. Lauren lived alone in the cabin. She bought some flowers from nearby and hung the recently completed painting on the wall, considering it her preparation for the holiday. Actually, Lisa was very considerate and personally came to invite. By the way, Molly, my brother George will be home tonight. With just the two of us siblings, it would be too quiet. Would you like to join us for the holiday? Since there was no one else around, Lauren couldn't think of a reason to refuse. She carefully selected some flowers, then took the kitten and a pot of hot coffee to Lisa's house as a guest. Lisa usually lived alone, so having a female companion of similar age made her genuinely happy. Looking at the decorations scattered on the floor, she said apologetically, "These were all bought by my younger brother. Originally, he was supposed to set them up. But now I'm afraid we'll have to do it ourselves." The Christmas tree was nearly 2 meters tall and looked particularly beautiful placed beside the fireplace. Though placing the star on top would be quite a challenge, Lauren didn't mind at all and said, "No problem. Just give me a chair and a stool. I can reach it." She was slightly taller than Lisa. Standing on the stacked chair and stool and tiptoeing, she could easily reach the top of the Christmas tree. Working together, they soon had the tree fully decorated, giving it a festive and lively atmosphere. Actually, Lisa couldn't help but complain, "I really don't know what's wrong with George. First, he forgot to buy the colored lights. Then he went out for so long and still hasn't brought the stuff back. He'd better not tell me he got lost." Lauren glanced at the clock and said earnestly, "Actually, it's still early. As long as he makes it back in time for the turkey, it's fine." "Oh my God, my turkey." Lisa suddenly realized the oven in the kitchen was still on and rushed in immediately. It looked like she had her hands full. Lauren smiled helplessly and continued hanging various decorations on the Christmas tree. When she heard the door, she simply went to open it for her. Standing at the door was a tall, handsome young man. Thinking the visitor was Lisa, he cheerfully raised the string lights in his hand and said, "I bought the lights." His words abruptly cut off as he realized he was shouting at a strange Eastern girl. Their eyes met. Lauren didn't seem bothered and explained with a smile, "You must be George, right? I'm your sister Lisa's tenant. She's in the kitchen preparing the turkey and should be out soon." George gazed at her with sparkling eyes, remaining motionless for a long moment until Lisa emerged from the kitchen and called out, "What are you standing there dumbfounded for? Come help me with the turkey." Only then did he snap out of his daze, carrying the string lights into the kitchen like a large dog. And then, at his sister's reminder, came back out to hand them to Lauren. Though he stood nearly as tall as the Christmas tree, he lacked the courage to even glance at Lauren for more than a second. His fair skin flushing with a suspicious blush, on Christmas Eve, the three of them gathered around the Christmas tree, sharing turkey and Christmas cookies. George finally mustered the courage to look at Lauren with his blue eyes during the gift exchange, asking sincerely, "Would you be my girlfriend?" No rhetoric or fancy words, just the simplest confession. Lauren pushed the Christmas gifts she had prepared for him and his sister forward. "Sorry, I think I'll still leave here someday." "Where are you going?" "Toward the distance, the end."